Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. How are you folks doing this evening? Pace and power, share the live, smash that emoji button. Hundreds of you already waiting in the Coliseum, in the stadium for us tonight. Welcome in the ring. We got some things to share with you tonight. We can show y'all who this government really is. We can show you beyond the shadow of a doubt. You're in the right place tonight. Smash that emoji button, share the live, pace and power. Come back, come back, come back. How y'all doing? We are happy and delighted, as we said, to have all of you here with us tonight. Wherever you're joining us from, Bantu King. I ain't seen a little bit. I ain't seen the name in a couple hours. Leslie Hamilton, Edward Brooms, Charles Nelson, Cheryl Ann Haywood. Good to see you, Rastaman, Everett and Charles and Everett and Cheryl and Rihanna Mingo, Rihanna Roberts. Good to have you here, Charles, Norma Jones, and all the other folks joining us this evening. Pace and power. Ringing the bell for all y'all. I'm ringing the bell for all of you. Share the live for us. Rock and comment. We're going to share it too. Good to have so many of you on the live. Good folks. We are so happy to see so many of you on the live. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all know how we say it. So good to see so many of you on the live. Yeah, pace and power, good folks. Smash that emoji button for us. Wherever you're joining us from, good folks, wherever y'all are joining us from, smash that emoji button. Great to see each and every one of you on the live tonight. You want to share when we show you some of what this install administration doing out here. You don't want to share the live. Hold on. You don't want to share it now. Hold on. You're going to be compelled when you see how they're wasting taxpayers' money, thieving out taxpayers' money, doing substandard work, where Guyanese are not reaping the benefit. Good to have all of you. Trust you guys have had a great Monday. You hit the ground running. You're about to close off the first day of this new week, June 3rd, 2024, in the year of our Lord. Good to see you, Everett Small. Call your name, Everett. Everett, your name calling. Your name calling. Allison Bennett. Good to see you there. Patricia Kissoon. Godfrey Montaigne. Great to see you as well. Penelope Hudson. We see you there as well. And Sudhari Suchan. I see Simone Kennedy is here with us. We're so happy to have each and every one of you. I see Michelle, Roslyn, Douglas, Jack. It's one person, you know. It's one person that. But good to have all of you. Many names, short names. Doesn't matter to us. We're fired up, folks, and we're ready to go. Fantastic program last evening. Fantastic program. And that is the usage of the word Negro by the Ghanaian police force. And you know, one of the things that Olive Sampson said, that is part of societal's perception of who Afro-Guyanese are. That is how you have some of these names coming into play, coming into focus. That is what Olive Sampson said. Very important program last evening. It's there on demand on all our platforms. So that you're ready to watch it, and we recommend it. He said it's part of societal perception. How people see you, they treat you, they engage you. And if you don't like that, you got to correct them. We got to correct course. And that's some of what we're doing now, folks. The opener is some of what Olive Sampson said. Take a look, folks. Take a listen.
I'd like us to also take into consideration the fact that this government has taken on this issue as though this is a minor irritation. Why are they complaining about this use of this word? But to me, the very fact that the police force continues to use this word, and we don't know what other government agencies use it in internal documents, or we don't know, just speaks to a larger issue. It speaks to how we are perceived in the society. I don't think we can sit here and not make that assumption. All that has been said by the Attorney General, by the very lack of response, suggests that yes, we are seen as the quote unquote Negroes of 2024. We are seen as Negroes. And so I worry about, for example, with the connotation of Negro as subhuman, as second class, a police officer arresting someone is not unlike a white police officer who is racist, like in the George Floyd instance, feeling that he or she is dealing with someone whose civil rights, whose human rights do not have to be respected because you're a Negro. You're not equal to any other member of our society. And so we have, I think, a problem. This has opened to me the gate of an examination of how we are being treated unfairly across the society, because there are innumerable ways. And the government's lack of interest in truly adhering to the plan of action that has been laid out by the Durban Declaration and by the Decade for People of African Descent speaks volumes in this context. The fact is that the United Nations, through the Durban, coming out of the Durban Declaration, the Durban Conference, made it very clear that people of African descent globally are still affected by the legacy of slavery. And here are the things that states need to do to remedy that. This government says there is no need for remedy. That is very clear. They have made it clear through their statements at the UN that there are laws on the books. Whether those laws are implemented or not, they acknowledge the fact that they have signed these conventions. The fact that they take no action on those conventions says a lot. And then we should accept Negro. That's what we're being told. We should accept being called Negro. That is very telling.
Yep. Well, Guyanese aren't accepting it. We don't accept it. Same way we don't accept the C word, the N word. We're not accepting it. Nope, we are not accepting it. This is more on that very issue. Adam Harris for us.
The people of African descent consider the word Negro to be derogatory. However, in recent times, the Guyana police force has taken to describe people of African ancestry as Negroes. Attorney at law Nigel Hughes said that the use of the word Negro has been objected to for years.
We have been constantly going to various police stations throughout the country, particularly in the cases of the arrest of African male political prisoners back in the day with Mr. Benchop coming forward. And we have objected to this term every time we go there.
He recalled that one police commissioner had said that the word should be removed from the police lexicon.
The objections to this have not been recent. I have to acknowledge the fact that Mr. Benchop has been objecting to this for a long time.
Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow said that he had served in the force for nearly 4 decades.
This is not the first time this word has been objected to. Over the years, even while I was serving, the word Negro was objected to. And during the tenure of Commissioner of Police, Winston Felix, a decision was made to have the term removed.
He had recommended that the words Guyanese of African ancestry be used. He said that the word returned sometime between the term of Leon Brummel and Silal Prasad.
It is contrary to the assertions of the Attorney General Anil Nandlal SC MP. This word has not been in use in the police force for over 180 years. I have the evidence, which I'll present as we go along.
Another young attorney, Ms. Warner, said that the use of the word Negro by government entities is not something new. He said that the word was common during criminal trials.
So it has been something that I have observed and something that I would have discussed with my colleagues and something that we at Youth Peace and Story have discussed earlier and prior to this forum which we are now on. The recent incident with respect to Mr. Kidaki, I believe, is one that has warranted, the need for a public discussion and further discussion, a more solidified approach with respect to the use of this word Negro.
He said that it's grossly incorrect that the objection arose after the arrest of Kidaki Amsterdam. Lowe said that the police standing orders should be amended to enforce the non-use of the word Negro.
It requires a buy-in by the administration, and then the necessary training and reinforcement. And let me say this. This does not require any legislative change. It doesn't require, there's nothing, change to the police force standing order, because there's no standing order which suggests that this word should be used. My research shows it's a practice that came on at some stage. I'm not even sure when, but certainly not 180 years ago, as stated by the Attorney General.
Yep, that's what was discussed last evening. And I want to circle back to some of what young attorney at law Kishwana Jefford said in that broadcast last evening, that this is not acceptable. The use of this word is reprehensible. Negro is not an ethnicity, is not an ethnic group by any measure. It is not. Here's some more of what that young attorney said, Kishwana Jefford.
Enrico, the matter is simple. When we refer to indigenous people, we don't use the B word in official documents or in court proceedings. When we refer to persons of East Indian descent, we do not use the C word. When we are referencing persons from the Portuguese ethnic group, we don't use the abbreviated P word to describe them, Enrico. So why should we accept reference or being referred to as Negro? Negro is not an ethnic group, Enrico. It's a word, and it's a word that is highly offensive and derogatory. As Ms. Thompson would have highlighted, it has a past, a dark history. It takes us back to that era where there was this master slave mentality, an era of colonialism and slavery. And I believe, the time has come for us to move past that and to have more socially acceptable and contemporary and correct reference to people of African descent in state agencies and other agencies across Guyana. And, we can start it simply with education, raising awareness and sensitization. The media has a role to play, Enrico, in ensuring that persons of African descent are referred to correctly when they are publications and the like. Also, at the policy level, Enrico, we should have policies in place to ensure that state agencies are guided with respect to the correct usage of persons of African descent.
Yeah, we love to hear young people engage in these issues. A very bright young lawyer, attorney at law Kishwana Jefford there, lending her voice to this discussion. And before we come off of this topic, Nigel Hughes spoke as well last evening, just before this broadcast. As I said, it's available on demand. You can go back and watch all of it. It's a masterclass, as it were, on race relations in this country, at least this aspect of it. Nigel Hughes, just before that broadcast last evening, the Attorney General Anil Nandlal put out a statement in which it is alleged that he suggested that these attorneys were using an opportune moment to pounce on this issue, and that this word has been used to the Guyana Police Force for about 180 years. We don't often see the senior counsel attorney at law, Nigel Hughes, my senior counsel at least, angry and upset. He was livid last evening on this very issue of the Attorney General's position. Take a look and take a listen.
You mentioned the Attorney General and what he said, and you read what he said in his press release that was published a few moments before your program started. And this is what he said. He said the attorneys, i.e. me and Ms. Jefford, were opportunistic by only raising this issue when Mr. Kadaki Amsterdam was arrested, because Congressman Jackson was in the country. I think the Attorney General, if we take all his words into account, the first question is, why did they choose to arrest Kadaki when Congressman Jackson was in the country? The offense for which they have accused him of committing occurred in March. So they selected the time to arrest Mr. Kadaki Jackson. And he probably thought that our reaction would have been Negro. We would have lied down and taken it. How can you arrest someone who spends his entire being talking about African rights and put him in chains? You shackle him And after you have shackled him, you call him Negro. And you want us as Negro attorneys to somehow say, oh, this is acceptable, Mr. Jackson's in town? No, not at all. The first thing the Attorney General should have said is this: we acknowledge that this term is offensive. It has been used for 180 years, and I dare say we offer an apology to all the African people in this country that we did not pick this up before, and this should have been addressed a long time ago. Had he done any work, he would have realized that Commissioner Felix had started this process, and he would have acknowledged the term. What does he do? The learned Attorney General seeks to attack the African lawyer for raising it when there is an African American congressman in tongue, and not once does he find a single word, not a single word of apology or condemnation for the use of the term Negro. So I think the Attorney General is, as we would say, very bold-faced to come and say he was attacking the opportunism of the attorney, where an African political activist was arrested, put in shackles, described as Negro, and you can't even find one single word to say the term is offensive. And the only reason that you choose to comment on it 5 minutes before this program starts is because you have been embarrassed. And even in that embarrassed state, you don't even have the decency to apologize for having used the term. Forgive me.
Bold face, that's what Nigel said. He bold face. That's very bold face. And throughout this broadcast this evening, I want you lovely people to remember that. Remember that phrase. Long opener tonight. Remember that. Bold face. Write it down if you can. Because you can see some things, and when you see them, you can realize that is really who the PPP be, you know. It's a set of bold face scamps. I don't know how else to put it. A set of bold face scamps. That's what we got out there. Bold, yeah, this transformation taking place in this country. I can show you all some transformation just now. And you can judge for yourself whether you like this kind of transformation or not. You will be able to judge for your own self, folks. You can be able to judge for yourself. Quite a long intro tonight. The open up, folks. Bold face. Remember that word. And give you guys some time to write it down. Remember it, right? Bold face. That's how they are. Bold face. Very, very, very bold face. Let's touch on a couple of things happening around the world. I really want to come in 5-9 because y'all know once we come home, But before we get there, big things happening all across the world. First female Mexican president, Claudia boldface, you know. As I said, authentic as they come, Claudia Sheinbaum. First female landslide victory there. Got between 57 and 60% of the votes already. Landslide victory for Claudia Sheinbaum. First female Mexican president. Yep. Believe it or not, and she has a PhD in energy. That's her thing, oil and gas and energy. Right? We got to send for Claudia. We got to send for Auntie Claudia Sheinbaum to come and see what's happening here. There's a lot of stuff. We want to wish her well. Big victories over the weekend. South Africa had an election too. Right? Majority rule for the last 30 years. The ANC lost that over the weekend. And in Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum is a Nobel Prize winning climate scientist. Got a PhD. No, I didn't get she there, from some no-name university, and you gotta force some people to call me doctor. It's nothing like when you read for the thing, Jack Dio. Nothing like when you read for it. So we want to say big congratulations to the people of Mexico. A lot of violence too. Quite a few candidates assassinated too. Got to give you that as well. Quite a few candidates assassinated too. First female president, folks. Moving on, we got some things to come to. Look what's happening in India. Extreme heat killed 70. Today I stepped outside. It was hot. It was hot outside today. Touch base with some folks visiting from London, England. I have about Natasha Congreves and family visiting from London. They were complaining too. It's hot out. Very hot outside. 70 dead in India. Thoughts and prayers with those families. 70 dead. Extreme heat. Better hydrate. That's something them boys can tell you. You crap out now is, for them is one less person to vote for the right people. One less person going up. Taking some folks with you. Extreme heat, folks. 70 persons. Including dozens of poll workers. You know, it's a long electoral cycle there in India. Several poll workers. Hot. Climate change might need Claudia there. Climate change scientists. 33 poll workers died in Uttar Pradesh, India's most popular province, most populous state. 33 poll workers. The real MVPs, you know. And they're telling us that since May 24th, another 24 persons died in the capital of Delhi. You want to see the kind of heat. Hot. India's hot, hot, hot. Thoughts and prayers with those folks. Better hydrate when you go outside, folks. Take them for granted. Hydrate when you go outside. Please and thank you. Hydrate. Some of the other things we're following, folks. This is happening around the region. Some of what's happening around the region. Trinidad story. Tech ups telling us that gunmen opened fire on some men in a place called Gonzales in Trinidad and Tobago. And the injured among these men that were fired upon, they were being treated at a hospital there. Treated as a hospital in Trinidad. Gunmen stormed the hospital. That's how they got started there. Gunmen stormed the hospital. Come on, Rowley. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Come on, Arla. Commissioner of Police there. According to reports, there in TNT, police are saying that some of this is gang-related. Two of these who died as a result, identified as one Jonathan Arjun and Jadon Rees. Another victim identified as one Kevin King. When these men stormed into this hospital, opened fire on them again, going for medical attention. You all better watch. Oil is bringing a lot of things, you know. The advent of oil brings a lot of things we might not be ready for. We don't know police from thief in this country. Imagine you get somewhere like here. We don't want to do that at all. We won't do it at all. St. Martin, looks happening in St. Martin. Power problems. power problems in St. Martin. Might want to hook them up with this vessel from Kazakhstan. Is it there? Where it's from? Might want to hook them up there. They had a total blackout yesterday, total shutdown. GPM said load shedding. You folks are done predicting, already predicting in St. Martin, the government's going to change. Total shutdown. Here we got engines failing, water pumps failing. They buy 19 engines, 18 and a half fail. They install water pump at a place called Adventure to help with irrigation. None are working. the folks in St. Martin already predicting government going to change. Government going to change. Better hook them up with these power people, with this boat and vessel and drugs and cocaine and all these kind of fancy things shipping in and out. Better get them the hook up. Government to change in St. Martin. People take this issue seriously, you know. You think we elect you for blackouts? You better go sit down and come again. You think you shut it, feel and come again. Best wishes. Best wishes to the people at St. Martin. And y'all know once we come here, it's problems. Y'all know once we come here, it's problems. You know, if we are voting in this country, as we should, on issues, this government can't say second term. Thieving out all the money. Messing up, mashing up everything. You want to see pocketory? You want to see the definition? Who's sharing the life tonight? You want to see the definition of pocketory? Pocketory is where you ain't got no description for the mess that we have. They say flush them out. Flush out Jack Neo. Flush out the economy. Minister of Finance, total waste. Flush you out as well. Right? If the guy need, you know, flush them out, man. Flush all of them out. Pocketory in this country. All the young man they talk about young. Say, Glenn, you waste your time. Them boys too far gone. Too far gone. I know some folks in Texas and what they take out of context. You know? But it's like in the biblical days. The father above had to bring the ark for purpose. Isn't everybody for the promised land, you know? Isn't everybody for the promised land? It's not everybody, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. The real truth. Isn't everybody for the promised land? Some got toil in the wilderness. Right? And then to get rid of a certain mentality, some people have to stay in the wilderness. Then say it's not prophet, a bishop or whatever, a politician, but sometimes some people got left in the wilderness. Some people got left in the wilderness. That's what I said it. It's Monday night Bible study. The good book says, in the year that King Uzziah died, what happened? Some of y'all missed church yesterday. In the year King Uzziah died, what happened? Some people got left behind here. For the rest of us to get to where we need to go. Pocketour in this country. In that year, the king died. Isaiah, for the first time in a long time, saw the Lord high and lifted up. Some of y'all missed church yesterday. Y'all run into me tonight. But look, pocketour in this country. Look, store in this country. Y'all know Heroes Highway? The new access road onto these banks starts at the Jumbie board. Goes all the way to Diamond now. I think they're doing another link from Diamond to Busby Dam. It opened recently with a lot of fanfare. Big trumpets and so on. I think everyone went in a horse or something like that. This is transformational development, heaven faith. Transformational development. Take a walk down this afternoon. Look story here now. They say concrete road supposed to last longer. That's what people tell. Concrete road. About 3 months ago, this road opened. Look, grass growing up in the gutter now. You seen that? But look, story here now. It's not the grass I want to show you. Look, story here now. Look, story. The road falling apart. Folks, the road falling apart. Look, story here now. Yeah? King Uzziah got to die before the rest of we see the Lord high and lifted up. Look, story here now. Let somebody put asphalt inside. It's blocking the road, blocking up. It's blocking the road, blocking up. You see that? It's blocking the road, blocking up there. You see that? And I hear from them call it transformation. They call it transformation. Look at that. You can fit 2 people in there. It's a big hole in the road. And somebody go and put a little asphalt inside. Put a little asphalt inside, up close and personal. You see that? It's blocking the road, blocking up. Heroes Highway. Heroes Highway. And they had the nerve to name this road, right, after the fallen soldiers. You all see that? Who shared the life, man? I want the whole country. Y'all tag Nicole Terrio, the US ambassador, tag Jane Miller, right? They stayed away from asphalt because asphalt's stronger. Sorry, concrete stronger. No grass in them drains. Them drains like getting clean since they put on that road there. The road is crumbling. That's what Purgatory look like. Anything working on in the PPP? A couple months ago, big fanfare. I swear it's the air on a horse doing the moonwalk or something like that. The horse moonwalking, he moonwalking. Somebody throwing on the jacket. Heroes Highway today. Today. We passing here. We have to pull over. We're in the wrong country. Pothole on Heroes Highway. This is them boys are transformational. Who's sharing the live tonight? Who gonna smash the emoji button? I ain't come out to abuse a soul tonight, but I come out to tell you the truth. And the truth is that we're not in good hands. This is what happens when you give friends, family, and favorites the money, the contracts. This is what happened when the people bidding for the contract, fail everything, fail all the criteria, but somebody said, pass, and give it the thing, but brace it over Holland. I think I'm closing the show at half. Hold on. That's what happens when boardness get contract. I heard of people who are suitably qualified. People bringing the auntie for contract, the hairdresser, the foul catcher, everybody. You could create a company yesterday and you get contract tomorrow. You get contract the day before, as a matter of fact. That is what happens. Lessons I fed up. You miss church yesterday. You know what church you're coming to tonight. The good book says when these things happen, it's not the end. What is it then, Tommy? Ivor and Marilyn. Jarastafari. What is it? When these things happen, Judith, Guilford, when these things happen, the good book says the beginning of sorrows. They got a bridge. Hold on, folks. Brace it over. They got brace it over. You can share the life. Like we wasting time out here. We didn't come to vilify anybody. We did not come to slander, to libel anybody. But the facts is the facts. And I learned while I was doing law, a defense to slander and libel is the truth. Is the truth. And that's one of the foremost defenses to slander and libel. And the truth about this government is that they ain't fit to run a corner shop. To put them in corner shop in the same sense to give the corner shop a bad name. They're not fit for the corner shop. Who can share the life for us tonight? Who has the testicular fortitude, the courage of the convictions to share the life and let guys into the world see what's happening? Brace it over, I tell you. Think it finished there? It's the beginning of sorrows. They got a bridge in town between Avenue of the Republic and Robb Street. That bridge was closed for repairs about a week ago. 2 weeks ago. So, You know, since they sprinkle it last fall, they gotta get ribbon and cut. Take a photograph, 50 stories out in DP High, the Chronicle. All of that was done. I think I saw your friend riding a horse in a jacket and moonwalking. I didn't hear the horse and moonwalking. I can't remember which one. Look back here and say, what taps? Going on like that. Air finale. What a thing. Folks, I tell you, this is not the end, the good book says. It's the beginning of sorrows. We take a walk by the bridge. Folks, 2 set of contractors. You never get another contract in this country. Look, story, the whole bridge failing now. The whole bridge failing. Y'all don't know this bridge? The whole bridge failing. Watch that. This bridge just opened about last week. The bridge was closed. They claimed they built a new bridge. Millions of dollars. Well, we don't need millions now. Billions. Billions of the bridge is collapsing again. Right? Unless they build it with potholes. The bridge is failing structurally. The bridge is failing. Look with the bridge there. Just in case you know. Avenue of the Republic, Rob Street. Just in case you didn't know. You know now the bridge is failing once more. And some of y'all don't share the live yet. I know if you're waiting for fireworks. I know if you wait to see the credits going up. Share the live for us. Smash. Smash. The bridge is collapsing. You could imagine another 2 weeks. They got close again and get somebody else $800 million. $1.2 billion to fix this bridge. The bridge is collapsing yet again. One agile should be fired immediately. You don't invite he for 10-day resignation. You fire he on the spot. Go home, agile. You're wasting the time of the people in this country. Wasting it. The bridge is collapsing under the weight of the corruption of this government. And all y'all seeing, y'all don't share the live yet, you know. Sister Mercy, Ingrid, Cheyenne, is a corrupt cabal. They said the bridge costs $1.5 billion. Huh? It's probably the 0.5 spent for building it less. Corruption rampant. This is what happens when you give people contracts who are not so qualified for it. Precisely what happens. Sister Mercy, I don't share. So, Sister Mercy, I can ring the bell one time. I can scratch the record one time for you and ring the bell. I use a special breed. You want others to get the value and credible information. Michaela, Andrew Kosa, she shared the live too. You get a ring to Michaela. And you get a scratch. I can scratch you back for you tonight. Scratch. Collapsing. You see that? That's the corruption in this country. You show me one thing this government do in the last 4 years that working. No Sheikh Bash telling me. Give Sheikh Bash got the nerve to tell this electorate, this country, he want 2 more years for better quality water. Go home, Sheikh Bash. Shake out the office, man. Carry ropes with you. Carry the bishop with you. Pack of waste. A pack of waste. The whole bridge collapsing. Whole bridge collapsing. Tocatory. That's what it is. If you don't share the life yet, you're wicked. That's what I want to tell you. Pace and power, though. Eugene Banks DIA is collaborating. Pace and power. Now, here's a country and a university where the son, my alma mater. I love them. I love the University of Ghana. And I love the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Paloma Mohammed. Paloma not shaven, though. Paloma saw me the other day, tried to embarrass me in an event. Paloma on the stage. His lady can turn and tell me, well, look, we have Sharon here. He's one of our students. I don't know. famous, infamous. I don't know how we describe him. I've made the pinnacle of my life here. The pinnacle, banks and UG linking up. I always wanted to work for banks. Never happened though. Right? Never happened. With this life though, there's hope. Yep, they're collaborating, folks. Signed the MOU today. They're going to be doing some good things together. And this is what we love to see. Right? That's what we love to see. This is part of, it's going to help student development. It's also an academic partnership. And this MOU also has a component for knowledge transfer. You know, I love that they've come together to put the students of this country first. Big company, billion-dollar company like Banks Age usually needs this kind of partnership, and definitely banks need the kind of academic resources that are going to be coming out of UG, the kind of students in the different areas of banks business. It's a good link up. I dare say it's a good link up. Yeah. Fantastic, Vice Chancellor. And full disclosure, Dr. Plomo Mohammed lectured me a couple of things because I did communication studies at UG, graduated, then I went on to read law. Graduated too. Fantastic woman, fantastic woman. Tell you, before I come off this topic, don't even know if Dr. Mohammed remembers saying this. One of the early classes we had in communication, she was warning us, I think it was the introduction, orientation. She was warning us. She said, don't fall in love on this campus. I remember this thing as though it was yesterday, watching her on that big GWLT stage. Don't fall in love. That's what she said. A young man, brash then. No, I'm just brash. She said, when two people share a common experience, you know, like a university campus, and the struggles that every university campus have. Everybody think their university was the hard, this and that. That's academic life for you. And because of that, you might link with somebody else. Here's the doctor talking, Bantu King. The doctor says, it's not love. Well, by this time, she got me. I take him a notes now. You all know GWLT, the big lecture theater, the George Walcott lecture theater. I says, what is this lady coming with now? Because I done got me eye on a couple shorties. Right? And a couple little foods. I says, what she telling me here now? She said it's not love. Well, I said, doctor, what is it? I had it back here, hand up. What is it? Here, doctor say, y'all listen? Doctor, she said that is traumatic bonding. You meet with people in hard times, you know. Hard times, he said, it's a partner for life. I don't see my husband, I see my wife. I said, no, that's not love. Traumatic from trauma. Traumatic bonding. I said, well, look, story here now. Like the Lord sent this woman because you don't have a personal faith. Speak to me one time because I was going to go. I come for the academic, but I see some things to distract me here now. She says, not love. My special call me name, Sharon, is not love. Traumatic bonding. Did I tell you I met my wife on campus? So like this thing didn't get through. This word didn't get through. Have I told you that? Have I ever told you that? My wife and I did communication studies. I think she was a year ahead of me or behind me or something like that. She was in love with me at the time. I was totally focused, as I said, on academics. And after we left campus, met up again, and the rest is history. Yeah, little son getting on. Yeah, traumatic bonding. That's a detour. Back to regular programming, folks. Back to regular programming. Look, some of the other things we are following this evening. You know, carnage on our roads and waterways. Look at this one. Look at this one, accident report. Carnage continues on our roads and waterways. Trying to keep up, folks. Apologies. The graphics in. I don't know what's happening. Carnage on the roads and the waterways. This is quarantine. I know a lot of you now, they were wondering, is this my husband for sure? This is traumatic bonding here. Is this love between me and this girl here? Or is it traumatic bonding? That's what knowledge does to you, you know. Shifts you. You think you're going one way and get new knowledge? Not you go have this traumatic bonding. You could tell him now, you in love, sir. You know, it's trauma. It's really trauma. That's happening to me in this country right now, you know. You know? And that's what happens to me. Traumatic bonding in this whole country. Traumatic bonding. Compliments of Dr. Paloma Mohammed. Traumatic bonding. That's happening to some of y'all now. Carnage on the roads. Waterways. Look at this. In the quarantine, police are always investigating. But what we know now, here, what we know now, they tell us is a 17-year-old, 17, arrested for driving this pickup. Right? Apparently left the scene of the accident as well. John's Public Road on the quarantine. There's another UG campus just off John's there. And this accident resulted in the death of 29-year-old Dionarine Budram. Thoughts and prayers with his family. Apparently, Budram was just walking along the roadway. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. When he was struck down and killed by this pickup, which according to the reports was traveling at a fast rate, struck him down Sunday evening on the road. The driver, as I said, fled the scene. The pickup is owned by a resident of Quarantine, Babis. Carnage. The man just walking, you know, going about his business. Going about his business. And that's it. Thoughts and prayers with his family. Never an easy day in this country. Never an easy moment. When we got a lot of traumatic bonding. Them boys said they're ready. The drainage and irrigation network. This is according to Zulfi. I don't know which part of the country talking about. It's not hinterland. It's not region 10. I don't know it's where. He said he's ready. Lyndon said, not so. I tell you what Lyndon saying. As a matter of fact, Lyndon said they're saying is the government responsible for what happened there recently in Lyndon. Take a look. What the mayor told us.
Flooding has hit Linden hard, says Mayor Sharma Solomon. The hardest hit have been the various constituencies.
Karakara, Retrieve, Constituency 3, we have Industrial Area Constab, every constituency 4, you have Naikadak, 5, you have down in West Watuka, 6, you have the alleys, the valleys, every constituency got damaged. Blueberry Hill. So what we recognize in that would be of two most important factors, and they are the neglect by the government to ensure that those CDC groups and the agencies which they would have hijacked.
He said that these hijacked entities were responsible for various aspects of maintenance in Linden.
Instead, what we have is every year in Linden, twice, the government through CDC groups are the ones responsible for the maintenance of carpets and drains. Now, let me tell you, Linden, in Linden, of those groups, 13 of the chairpersons of those groups are candidates of the last local government elections for the PPP list.
Solomon said that the PPP and the government should be responsible for the issues affecting the communities.
But outside of the NDNIA and the CDCs doing their work, it is important to also understand that the PPP as a government has also not given the sort of resources based on the request made by the council.
The requests weren't honored. He said that the government refused to heed them. The council wanted money for a cleanup exercise.
However, what we saw the government did 2 weeks and into the rainy season was for a flag raising exercise. They invested $77 million in the community on infrastructural works, on a whole lot of drainage and clearing. But I can tell you this, that meant absolutely nothing.
After 1 hour of rain, the flooding began. A few hours of rain has caused the present destruction.
Haimara Creek wasn't cleared, and the whole of Karakara Retrieve is flooded. Katakara Creek is incompleted in terms of its work, and industrial area and Constab is flooded. Outside of those areas where they refuse to invest that $77 million, the areas where they place that money, for example, at the back of Sports Club, it's rapidly eroding those resources that through their negligence that they must now give compensation to people who suffered losses. All material losses, whether it's electronic, animals, furnishing, should be given back and should be compensated.
Where works were done, they were shoddy, according to Solomon.
In this weather, we're not only seeing flooding and erosion, what we're seeing is the destruction of incompetent works done on some of these infrastructural projects. So we have several of the footpaths over Wismar, the Victory Valley area, over the Canvas City area, all collapsing, several footpaths, all with massive craters under them. We have several roads that we advise this government to build with proper drainage and irrigation, to ensure that they have curb wall, to ensure that they have drainage. They refuse. Now, all of those roads are under the verge of collapsing.
Yep. Government said they're ready. Government said they're ready. Let's wrap it up, folks. Let's wrap it up. How it going? See a lot of things start. Big sweat and fanfare. How it going? Sheikh Bashir need 2 more years. For guy needs to see significant improvement in potable water. Potable water. 2 more years for significant improvements. I told us the other day were 99.9.9. Every household had it. Like Sheikh Bashir forget we say like he shake out this thing out his head. Just last week they said that 99 point something coverage is coverage with rivers that gotta be purified. These people have been in office for close to 4 years. And Sheikh Bash telling me no. Dr. Richard Van Mistras had this thing in tip-top shape. Tip-top shape. Sheikh Bash want 2 more years. He said, for significant improvements in water supply. He needs to be not invited to attend the registration. Go now, Sheikh Bash. Do the dignified thing. For information, look what happening here. They're telling us an injured bandit. Do we have that? Is on the prowl, yeah? Injured bandit is on the prowl. The man was shot robbing a supermarket. I think they set in fire. You think that would make him reconsider his life occupation? No. Not him, said the cat. Not him. It is emboldening him. Emboldening him. Right? Durban Street, rather. One O'Neill Batson shot during a daylight robbery in Durban Street on May 30th. Trying to rob a 22-year-old businessman is at this 22-year-old owned the supermarket. And Batson was recently fingered in another robbery. Them boys are easy. In yet another robbery. Thank you, Daily News, for this. Moving on, folks. Confusion powder That's the hallmark of this government. Confusion powder. What's happening? The graphics in tonight. What's going down, folks? What's going down? The graphics, not graphics in. Had a public day. Government bus and truck taxied a lot of people to the Ocean View Convention Center. them boys didn't even walk far now. They're bringing people to them. They even able to stand up in the session. They're bringing people to them. Public day. And this is what failure system look like. When you go to the ministries, nobody never help you. So he now got to bring the ministers and so on. No, I would think you might want a public day somewhere outside the city. You're right at Ocean View. The ministries are right around the corner. But when people go to the ministries, it's every man for himself. The system's not working. It's not working. Like how the power ship empowering. The contractors not constructing properly. You show me one thing in this country that's actually working. One thing. Just one. Just one. Respect and manners. Mr. Jordan will make you money either way. Don't know what's happening tonight. Former Minister of Finance suing the state for $300 million. Money have him make. Remember me, Former Minister, when you go on high. when you come into your kingdom, remember me. Please and thank you. $300 million. Remember me. Former Minister, when you come into your kingdom, remember me. 300 million. You want wrong deal, people? You want wrong talk, now? Make your money, how we gonna make it? We just gonna make money, however, we gotta make it. Y'all know how them boys stay. Y'all know how them boys stay, how they be, how they is. Wicked. Look at this. If you join their morning program, we took you folks through the paces of what life is like in this country. 78 articles, one for every week, Sabbath News has been doing for the last 78 weeks, on how people engaging with the cost of living. Everybody, they interview about 15 persons for every article. Everybody, without fail, said the cost of living high. Now, in the last budget, we agreed with the government to set aside something to help you, your family, with this high cost of living. The budget was read in February, first week. $1 trillion budget. Trillion plus. Something is in there to help to alleviate the cost of living. Jack Joe came out recently and he said it's $7-point-something billion. 7+ billion. 7. Let me say 7. Wrong it off. Wrong it down. For the high cost of living to bring relief. We're saying get it late in the year. We commend our morning program. It's available on demand on all our channels. We commend it to you. I don't want to really negate all we said. Everybody hurting economically. But these people who claim that they care, the folks that claim that they care, they say by year end, before the end of 2025, we can get this thing. Before the end of 2025. Later down in the year, you watching now. You want relief now. That budget passed months ago. But these callous, heartless, wicked, stinking, dirty regime, that's the PPP. They said later on, You know why? Because that can be for the more electioneering. You got one bow down, pull on the mala, pat the head, lift them up a little bit, put on the jacket, moonwalk with them, tell them they look good, and all that. Before some relief come to you and your family. That's the wickedness of it. Good folks. That is the wickedness. Some of our technology not checking tonight. Some of our tech not checking. But that being said, folks, that's our time. Share this live. Smash that emoji button, good folks. That's our time. Trust that you guys have had a great day. Marcia and Deborah, Sudhari, Coral and Jude, Diane Graves, Andy, Jacqueline Johnson, Maxine, and all you other folks joining us tonight. Great to have each and every one. Beryl Crawford, Jamal Aziz, good to have you. Patricia Fraser, great to have you. Gail Alicock, Enid Miggins, Joylyn Cook, Carol, Sandra Hanover. Have a fantastic evening. Beryl and Veronica, Primo Rollins, Charles Nelson, and all of you. Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks for being here with us. That's our time, good folks.